Welcome to the OEN podcast, the podcast about opinions, events, and overall nothingness. We will discuss whatever is on our minds today, and we may or may not accomplish anything with it, but hopefully it will be enjoyable. Also, there is a good chance that listener discretion is advised. So please have a listen and let us know what you think about the discussion.
So some of the techniques of other podcasts that I listen to is they will record, or the host just hits record, and it will be the host and the guest or guests chatting about whatever. Like we were just talking about me being randomly sick yesterday.
Yeah.
Like he would have recorded all of that, and then the guys are like, all right, well, should we start recording? And he's like, oh, I've been recording for like the last 5 minutes.
Right. And
So
it
it's
does,
just like, it's done.
it makes it a lot less formal, so you don't really think about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just that, I go and I look at the blue button and it's flashing. I'm like, okay, now we're recording.
Oh,
So,
you have a blue flashing button.
well, on my stuff I use to record,
Yep.
it has a blue button when it's recording, so I can see it.
Yeah.
So, but
Nice.
where I told you I was going to put you on blast. So,
Yeah.
So basically, what it is the fact that because you've never given me an intro, I'm
Yes.
actually going to have you do it right now.
Yeah. And I think that's probably better, because I think us bouncing off of each other, I won't be like,
Yeah.
yours was interesting, but you're a better talker than I am. Especially when like you could talk to nobody and it would be, engaging.
Well, 9 times out of 10, I'm usually talking to nobody anyway because nobody's listening to me. So
Yep.
I'm kind of used to it. But yeah, just give people a broad overview of who you are and a little bit about your life and all that, just so they'll know in the future. Especially when I do not the video and just do the audio for Spotify, then they'll
Yeah.
at least know who's talking.
Yeah. Well, I'm Andrew.
Shit.
Dale and I have been friends for almost 8 years, 9 years, something like that. We
Yeah,
met
it was like 2016, 2015, somewhere around there.
Yeah. You and I first connected by us talking about our mutual angst for the fitness annex on the Air Force Base where we worked. And the guy that ran the desk was a real...
I forgot about that. He was an asshole.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, definitely. His name was Daryl. And when I was introduced to you, I remember someone obviously introduced you as Dale, but in my mind, I remembered it as Daryl.
Yeah.
So for the next half year,
Yeah, it was about 6 months.
Yeah, and when I would see you walking into the building, or I'd see you in the building, I'd say, "Hi, Daryl. Hi, Daryl." And eventually, you corrected me, or no, eventually you sent me a message on chat.
Yeah.
And I saw your name was Dale. And I was like, oh, shoot, dude, I've been calling you Daryl for 6 months. I am so sorry. And you're like, it's all right.
Yeah, I'll answer to anything, so I don't care. So.
Yeah. So we started talking about stuff we're doing. We talked about the gym and our mutual distaste for the guy that was running the desk in the early morning. And we also talked about races, and we connected over the zombie race. Yep. There was in the area where we were, there was a zombie race held at a disaster preparedness facility where first responders, military teams, police forces will be trained in how to respond to emergency situations. And it's an entire facility that can simulate things like floods and hostage situations and wrecks and subway train emergencies, all sorts of these awesome things. And so this race was held at this facility. Like, what a perfect place to hold a zombie race, and then in a dystopian looking location.
Very
And
much.
so, yeah. And so we both connected over that. We talked about how awesome it was, and that led us into talking about horror movies and how much both of us love horror movies. And then you were like, hey, I recently ran a obstacle race. You should try it. And I was like, what is that? Is that like military, like you're running and jumping over wooden platforms and climbing ropes? And you were like, yeah, basically. I mean, it's a little more creative than that, but yeah, it's the same basic idea where you're running and then you have something to break up the monotony and then you have to keep running. It's a test of both endurance and strength and how your body can withstand both stresses over a distance. And I was like, cool. Um, so you got me to try a, not Rugged Maniac, Warrior Dash.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right, down in Florida.
yeah, in
Yeah.
2017, it was
Yep.
like February or March
Yeah, it was February. Yeah.
2017. And you were like, hey, my buddy and I are going to run a Rugged Maniac, I mean, a Warrior Dash in Florida. And you were like right around Orlando or something. And I was like, sure, I'll do it. And so I registered, I drove down there, I missed my heat. And that's where I first learned that you can always go later in the day, but you can never go earlier. And so you and your buddy Andy had already finished and had cleaned yourselves off by the time I arrived.
Yep.
And um, so we took a picture together, and then my buddy and I went out and ran our heat. And at the time, I was like, wow, 5K with 12 obstacles, that's insane. Um, little did I know that's practically nothing. So
Yeah, but for back
yeah,
then,
back then we had, or you had experience with other race series. I didn't.
and
And so I
and
was thinking like 12 obstacles is crazy. That's a lot. Like I thought that it was going to be some subset of 12 and you could choose like 3. I didn't know that they would have all 12 on course. I was like, it just blew, because I did no research going into this.
yeah.
I was like, and after that race, I was like, I love this. And so on Monday, that following Monday, back in the office, you and I caught up, and you were like, hey, well, you should try a Spartan race. And I was like, what's that? And so you got me to try the Spartan Sprint in Conyers, Georgia, that next month. And you, Tina, and a bunch of people ran that race. And
Yep.
I was like, wow, this one is way harder than Warrior Dash. Like Warrior Dash was a walk in the park compared to this. And that was the beginning of the end. And now here we are. We've gone through race seasons where you and I have run 30 plus races in a single year. I remember in 2017, your swan song was getting a double trifecta, and you had run what, like 16 races total that year
Yeah,
or
something
something
like
like that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were like, yeah, man, I'm never going to run more than this.
Yeah, more than 16, 20. So I know you can't see it right now, but while you were talking, I actually was able to pull up the picture of us at Warrior Dash.
Oh,
And
nice.
and so I put it up there. And then right now is actually the picture of me and you before we actually started that Spartan race in Atlanta. So it's actually
Awesome.
just our before picture because you ended up volunteering and
Hmm.
missed the after picture. So I
Yep.
just pulled that up. So when you watch the video, you'll actually be able to see it.
Yeah, that's back when I was a noob.
Yeah,
When like we were finishing our heat, or we were finishing our race. How long did that take us? Like 3 hours or
yeah,
something like
something
that.
like that. It was a super. So yeah,
Yeah. Oh, it was a sprint, actually. But
was it a
that's back when
sprint?
they were, yeah, that's back when they were 5 to 6 miles
Oh, that's right. That's
and
right.
not a 5K.
Yeah,
And you had me. I was a newbie, and so we were taking our time. trying all the obstacles. You were blasting through them pretty quickly, but I was like taking it all in. So I probably slowed you guys down some too.
No, yeah. Well, if you did, that was the only time you've ever slowed us down.
Yeah, that was, yeah, I had no idea that you would be waiting around as a volunteer with nothing to do for like an hour.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're volunteering at 12. I thought you have to be there at 12 and check in at 12 or they're going to drop you. So when we finished our sprint that day, I was like, thanks guys, bye. And I ran to the volunteer tent and checked in. And then I sat there for the next hour with nothing to do. And I was like, well, dang it. I could have hung out with them, had the team
beer.
photo and the beer,
Yep.
enjoyed myself, and then casually walked over here and still had time to kill.
Yeah.
So that was also an introduction to me that you don't have to be there right on time when you're volunteering. You can show up sometimes an hour late, and especially now, you could probably show up 3 hours late, and they'll be like, "Oh, we'll give you 2 free race codes."
Yeah.
If they can't find anybody.
Yeah. Well, you know exactly why they can't find anybody, because the way they treat the volunteers anymore. So.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, real quick about your family. As much as you want to give, you don't have to give details or whatever, but as much as you want to give.
Mm-hmm. So I'm married. My wife and I have been married for almost 11 years now, and we have 3 kids, a 9-year-old and 2 6-year-olds, and it is crazy. Sometimes, right now, my wife is in Guatemala, and I'm single dadding it up this week. My oldest daughter is with her grandmother, so I only have 2, but I have the 2 little ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, which has been interesting with trying to work. And of course, this week or last week, I got assigned a ticket that was like super high profile, and one that my boss was like, "You need to be able to knock this out in 2 to 3 days." And so I was like white knuckling it at work, and then also trying to manage 2 6-year-olds in the background. It's been a week.
Yes.
And then I got sick randomly yesterday.
Did you get it done?
Yep, it's done.
Okay. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yep.
Very cool.
But my wife doesn't run. She rides a bike, and she likes to do a bunch of these super long distance races, like the 100 miles and the 80 miles and the off-road rides. And she got me back into it. I love bike riding. It's so much fun. And it's great low impact cross training. So if you already are maxing out what you think you can run, you can bike for another hour a day, and that's like free aerobic training. So not only is it fun, it's also great, like aerobic strengthening. So she has rekindled my love for bicycling, and it's really great fun.
That's cool. Well, she's done some tough mudders too, though.
Yeah, she has done some.
Yeah.
She doesn't. She's like, but she would fit in the group of, say, like Angie and Emma, where they walk the course and enjoy themselves. She does not do any running whatsoever.
I got you.
Yeah, she is purely a walker. Purposeful walker, but walker.
Well, that's true. And I mean, a lot of us, I mean, I haven't run in forever, but that's just mainly because we're usually out with the chair or whatever. So.
Yep. Yeah, you're working, not running.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice hoodie, by the way. I didn't know you had a Savage hoodie.
Oh yeah.
Is that old?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's very old.
Yeah.
This is. I don't even remember how old this is. It's probably 2017, 18.
Man.
Because I ran my first Savage in 16, so I got it right. But doing this, I realize I can't wear black, because if I wear black, I fade in with everything.
Disappear.
Yeah. So when I was looking today for a shirt to wear tonight, I'm like, damn, like 99% of my shirts are all black. So, I'm like, I got to find something that's not black.
Yeah.
So this it was we keep the air conditioner pretty low, so
Mm-hmm.
I can wear a hoodie around here and be okay with it. So
Nice.
yeah, but yeah, just I couldn't wear black because I'd blend in.
Yep. Yeah, I'm wearing gray. I'm actually wearing a Tough Mudder shirt, but
Actually,
the
we
logo is down
almost
there.
yeah we almost twinned.
Oh man.
We almost
Awkward.
because I've got like 5 of those just from this year.
Oh dude,
So
yeah. And most of them from Missouri.
yeah, exactly. So speaking of which, have you gotten the email um, from Tough Mudder this week?
Oh, let me see. Maybe Tough Mudder, tougher together. Invite a friend to Tough Mudder.
Nope, it's the
Nope.
one before that said join the journey.
Oh,
Faces
I
of
see it.
Tough Mudder.
Faces of
Okay,
Tough Mudder.
so what I want you to
Oh,
do,
Brett.
that's what I was going to show you.
Oh.
So in the thing, they actually say meet Brent, but
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Brent.
yeah, it's Brent, but they
But they
wrote
have it correct. They have it correct
in the
in the smaller
write up,
text.
but not up in the big thing. So,
Well,
and you'll see that on the because I actually pulled it up too, so you'll see it on the video.
oh
But
man, nice.
yeah, so Brent, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Oh man, did I ever send you that picture of him and me on the slip wall in Missouri? It was one of the on Sunday Fun Day. It was one of the it may have been lap 2. We just went out for another walk,
yeah,
and he was talking about that technique where you can go up to the side of the slip wall and put your knees on the wall and grab the wall from reach your hand around under the wall and like hold yourself against the wall and then scale it up that way if there's no ropes. I'm not sure if I'm
oh, so
explaining it very well.
you reach like the
You reach
side.
around, yeah, you reach around the side,
It's called the
yeah.
reach around.
The reach around, yeah. It's similar to the reach around at
At
the really
Mutterhorn.
high Mutterhorn.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's similar to that. And so he was like, "Here, yeah. So try it, Andrew. Try." He was explaining it to me. So we were at Slipwall, and I was like, "Yeah, my knees are destroyed from yesterday because it was the day after the Infinity."
Right.
And he was like, "It's okay. It's okay. I'll hold you so you don't slide back." And so he puts his hands on my lower back, and he's standing directly behind me. If that is giving you a mental image,
I would
and
almost
I'm bent down.
pay for that picture.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
I would pay for that picture. That's one of the few that are worth paying for.
Yes, it was like, oh, perfect.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
speaking of Tough Mudder, because we did the Infinity at
Yep.
St. Louis. This is a great weekend. That was just a fun
Yeah,
weekend.
that was so
The
much
Infinity
fun.
was a blast, and the people, the people of Tough Mudder, actually the Mudders themselves, are really good about letting the Infinity folks go and all that stuff because you don't see that at Spartan. You're doing an
Yeah.
ultra, you got certain people that will let the ultras go through, and you got other people because everybody there is wearing a time chip. So their time is just important as yours. So they, you don't get that same thing at Spartan as you do Tough Mudder. So it's a lot better, for the
Yeah.
endurance folks at Tough Mudder.
Yeah, they almost treat you like a rock star.
Yeah,
when
they really
you-
do. When you get clapped when you go up, you're getting in front of the line to go in an
Yep.
obstacle, and they're clapping for you. It's actually really
Yeah.
cool.
Or you're waiting in line at the back, and they look at you and they see that you're wearing a purple bib, and they're like, "Purple bib,
Yeah.
dude, you
Yeah,
get up there,
get up
And then
here,
they
yeah.
help you over the obstacle as fast as they can. You're like, "Oh shoot!"
Yep,
Thanks, guys.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
it's so cool.
And then at the end of August we got Chicago
Mhm.
overnight,
Toughest.
12-hour toughest.
Oh boy.
So that will be my first time doing that. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Remember when we originally started talking about doing one of the Tough Mudder endurance events?
Yep.
And we were talking about back then. I think they had an 8-hour during the day as well. But then they were like, they canceled it.
Right.
Do you remember that? And
Yeah.
you were like, dude, they just canceled that 8 hour during the day, and now it's 12 hours at night. And we were like, nope, can't do that.
Right, exactly. So they got rid of it. It was called Tougher back
Tougher.
then.
That's
Yeah.
right. Tougher.
And so they got rid of it. And then the Tougher that we saw later on was a timed event that actually had timing chips and all that stuff. And I'd see people like, Hunter McIntyre and those guys running the Tougher races, but it was a competitive timed event.
Yeah.
So that's what Tougher took over. So then,
or toughest.
what was Tougher?
Yeah, it was
Then-
tougher.
Right. So they only had World's Toughest, which is 24 hours, and then Toughest for 12. And they didn't have that 8 hour event until Infinity showed up a couple of years ago.
Yep.
So gave it a new name, and as you can tell, they don't even have any Infinity swag.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense.
No, there's no
Like,
hats,
not
no
even
patches, no nothing. We do get, the shirt and the bands or the
Yeah.
headband, but we don't. Yeah, there's no swag for it. So
Yeah, which always has baffled me, because I mean it is a much significantly harder event, because you're out there for 9 hours or 8 to 9 hours.
if you do it the way you did it, yes, it's a much tougher event.
Yeah, and I guess that's so in my mind I always think about it as being 8 to 9 hours, and probably probably at least half of the people don't stay out there that long.
Right. They get their obligatory 2 laps in, the
Yeah.
10-mile lap and the 5-mile lap, and then they're basically done.
Yeah.
And the only reason I didn't go back out, I didn't think I'd have enough time to get another one done. But I mean, I'm that slow. But so we are looking at trying to do all 12 hours at Chicago.
Yeah. It's really good practice for toughest or
Right.
tough WTM.
WTM, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know about mileage. I mean, I got one in my head,
Yep.
but we'll just see. If I can just keep moving all night, that'll be a win. Whether I get 20 miles, 25, 30, whatever.
Yeah.
If I can just keep moving all night, that's something. So
Yeah.
that's more what
Yeah,
I'm
that
shooting
was-
for.
Yeah. Ultimately, last year when I did WTM, I was like, I have a mileage goal that I'd like to hit, but ultimately my goal is to just not stop.
Right.
Like sure, like go into the pit, put on my frog skins or a wetsuit if I need it, but never stop and go to sleep.
Right.
Just keep going all night long. And I did that, and so even though I missed my mileage goal, I was content because I didn't stop.
Right.
So
And
now this year I can do better.
so you think you're gonna get your world's
don't know.
toughest? Well, and we
Yeah.
don't know and the big thing is we don't know about this place.
Yeah.
We don't know much about Bartow, Florida. I mean, is it going to be the Central Florida swamps? If it is, no, you ain't getting 100 miles.
No. If
And
it's anything like Missouri was, the swamps in Missouri, the pop-up swamps.
Oh my God, those
Yeah.
things are awful.
Yeah. If it's anything like that, no way.
No, there's
No.
no way. That's why I didn't do the 10-mile lap second time. I'm like, nope,
Oh,
I ain't going back
man.
through that.
Yeah, me either.
Those are ridiculous. So,
Yeah. Did
So we'll
110 and then
see.
the rest short.
yeah, exactly. Just keep doing the short. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, you
Yeah,
killed it there.
Yeah, that was a challenge for sure. And that's how every Infinity, well, except Chicago last year, there wasn't really any like unexpected challenge that arose. Like in Philadelphia, the first year I did an Infinity, the unexpected challenge was the heat. It was like 98 degrees that day. It was so freaking hot. And then I ended up getting heat sickness that day because it was so hot. And there was no shade at all. And then the next year in Chicago, it was beautiful. It was overcast. It was awesome. Everyone did super well. And then this year, we had the freaking
Swamps.
monsoon that created swamps over the whole course.
Which
Yeah,
one was it? You were the only one to get 50K.
that was Philadelphia.
Okay.
The first one. The first Tough Mudder Infinity in the U.S.
Oh, really?
Yep, that was the
That's
first
cool.
one.
So you were the very first
I was the
ever to get
first
50K.
winner.
First winner ever.
Yep.
That's actually real. I didn't realize it was the first one.
Not that it means anything.
It's still hey, nobody else can say they did it,
Yep.
you know. So that's very cool.
I
I
could
did
put
not know
myself
that.
on a pedestal with Ryan Atkins.
Ryan
He was the first guy
Atkins,
to get 100 miles at WTM. I was the first one to win a Infinity in the U.S.
Infinity 8 hour. Yeah. So you and Ryan and Chris Rogowski are right there together. So
Oh yeah.
that's still cool. That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we do this year.
Yeah. Yeah, we will. It's crazy how we've gone from sort of casually running these things, or not even running these things. We were more so experiencing them with
Yeah.
some trotting.
Yeah.
Like how we've gone from running one trifecta in a calendar year to running multiple trifectas throughout the year, and most of them on a single weekend. And
Yes.
and then also the Tough Mudders, which Tough Mudder was always like a one or two a year thing because it was so expensive.
Yep.
It was always the more expensive race. Now it's not.
Now it's not. You're right.
Yeah. Um, but we've gone from like doing just a handful of races a year to doing a bunch. And then we did a whole lot with More Heart Than Scars. And now both of us are like scaling down a bit this year,
Yeah.
um, focusing more on the endurance series.
Yep. And I mean, I had to scale down because of my issues. So
But
all
yeah,
right.
it's interesting that both of us have scaled back somewhat. We're still going out and doing things with the team, but we're doing more solo things this year.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, things how seasons of racing change with seasons of life.
Absolutely. And that's a big thing. I mean, with especially with you having 3 kids, you just don't have the time you used to have.
Yeah.
Me, I've got some, well, everybody knows about the cancer thing. So, did that. And then, that seems to be okay.
Better anyway. Yeah.
It's better. I'll find out. I'll find out in September. I'll get another blood test in September. But, I'm feel good, and
Yeah.
the side effects that I had earlier this year aren't there anymore. So everything looks like it's okay. And I didn't have any symptoms prior to it.
Yeah.
So I actually had the symptoms, like all the symptoms I was supposed to have when I had cancer. I actually had all those symptoms after I had the operation to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was kind of weird, but
Yeah, like the
everything's
nuked
working good
bladder
with that.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then today, getting that shot in my shoulder today was
Ooh.
that was the
Yeah.
best thing. My shoulder has been killing me. And I just knew I tore a rotator cuff or something, especially during Barbarian a few years ago, is when I thought I did it when I fell.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's given me issues since then. And lately, it's been waking me up at night. It's been hurting, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, shoot.
So yeah, it's been
Yeah.
waking up with pain. So I'd get up, I have to take some ibuprofen or whatever, and go back to bed. It's just gotten so bad that I'm like, I got to get it looked at.
Yeah.
And he looked at it today. I've got the X-ray, I don't know, somewhere, and it's a big old bone spur, and it's hitting on my rotator in that area. And so he said, we're going to give you an injection. He said, I'm going to give you some exercises to strengthen it up. He said,
Nice.
we'll see how you feel in 6 weeks. So
Okay.
they gave me the shot, and they said, have you ever had a cortisone shot?
No, never have.
Okay, so cortisone,
But I know the needles are supposedly big.
they
right?
are. But so I had when I was herniating that disc in my neck, I thought it was
Yep.
tennis elbow, and so I got a cortisone shot in my elbow, And the thing about cortisone is you go in there because it hurts. You get a shot, and about 3 hours later, it hurts worse than when you went in to get it looked at.
Oh shoot.
It is absolutely ridiculous how bad cortisone hurts after the shot. But a few hours after that, it goes away, and then you're good after that. But the pain actually intensifies before it gets better. So they told me with this shot today that there's a lot of people that did have that. They call it the cortisone effect.
Yeah.
That they get it. He says you could hurt so much worse when this is done, and it'll get better. And I'm like, okay. It didn't happen.
Oh.
He shot it, and I don't know, probably about a half hour, 45 minutes later, I was like, I can actually get it above I can feel it.
Oh,
But it doesn't
dude.
hurt. So
Nice.
the shot made a huge difference.
Wow.
And then, they gave me a little stretchy band and, like 6 or 8 different things to do to strengthen it. So we'll see how
Dude,
it goes.
nice.
Yeah. I was
Something
really, really nice to hear it wasn't ripped or it wasn't torn.
Oh yeah. What a relief.
Yeah. Well, if it doesn't get any better, he said, then they'll MRI. They said they can't actually tell a tear with an X-ray. They'd have to do an MRI. But if it'll get better with what they gave me, then they won't need to do the MRI. So.
Yeah. So we'll hope that this is what it is.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So that's definitely what I want to do is get it better.
Yeah, and that'll bode well for Chicago.
Yeah, it's funny. I can't even read my own writing. I told you I wrote down a little itinerary here, and I can't fucking read it. I don't know what that says. Son of a bitch. Oh well. But just going by with what. That says barbarian.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it says barbarian. I actually had planned on getting the OCR stuff later because I figured we'd be, rolling on that. So I was going to talk about SpaceX, and IFT4 before I actually got into it.
And their successful IFT4.
That was. So did you watch it when it happened?
No, I didn't catch it live. Like always, I caught the rebroadcast version. I went back and watched the feed when I had the time. It's like they continually were striking out, and then all of a sudden they got a grand slam.
Yep. Well,
it was like everything just went right.
Each one is gone. The only time they ever took a step back is when Ship 11. Mm-hmm. So, Ship 8.
When it exploded.
Yeah, in the fog.
Yeah,
and we didn't see even what happened. It didn't even get close to the ground. It blew up before it got to the ground.
Yeah.
And then, 10 had landed, but it landed hard and then blew up after the fact. 8 and 9 blew up. They slammed into the ground.
Yeah.
10 landed, but landed hard. 11 just blew up in the sky. Then 15, sat right there, good to go. So with the 3 or 4 booster ship launches, IFT1, they didn't even separate. They couldn't get them apart. It's like 2 dogs in your backyard and you have to shoot them with a hose, try to get them apart. It's not coming. It's, so they ended up, blowing them up. 2, they actually did separate. But literally less than 30 seconds or so after they separated, both of them blew up.
Yeah.
3, it was too heavy, or the booster was too heavy, and it lost, it was what?
That's 4? The one where the fins started vibrating and
they were, you saw it.
They were moving twisted. Very erratically.
And I guess what they said was the hot staging ring was just way too much weight on it. And so when everything was designed, that hot staging ring wasn't on there. And that's another few tons of metal on the top of it. So the weight was off. And so they figured it weighed too much and it couldn't. So you notice during IFT4, the hot staging ring, they jettisoned it.
Huh.
So as it was, after it did it boost back, as it was coming, it jettisoned the hot staging ring, which took, like, I don't know, I want to say it was 10 tons of metal
Holy cow.
that came off of it. So
That's a lot.
yes, I mean, that's 20,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And then that daggum thing just landed as soft as it could be.
Hmm.
And then what? The ship in IS-3 burned up on entry because it actually lost it couldn't keep its
couldn't
attitude.
flip. Yeah.
And so it actually was rolled halfway over.
Yeah.
So half of the heat shield and the other half's just stainless steel burning.
Yeah.
But this other one was so cool because as it comes through, it ends up burning through that forward flap. And as it burned through, they're like, all right, well, once that burns through, it's not going to be able to do its flip maneuver. It's not going to be able to do anything. But the onboard computer adjusted for that flap being tore up and not being able to do what it needed to do. And so it had the other ones actually do more to where it could still do its thing. So it was freaking ridiculous.
Yeah,
It was
impressive.
I watched it. Luckily, we could do some telework. And so I just got a hold of my work and said, hey, I got some stuff going on. I need to telework the first few hours. Then I'll be in. And so I sat right here. I was logged into work, and up on that top screen I was watching it all.
Oh, man.
I watched it live, and my heart was just a pounding watching that thing.
Oh, yeah.
It was very cool.
Unfortunately, I knew what happened with the test flight before I watched the stream because I made the mistake of SpaceX IFT for stream search, and then the top 10 results were IFT succeeds, IFT lands, and I was like, oh, shoot. Oh, well.
But just watching it, I mean, it was because that little flap that could, we're watching it burn through, and we're like, oh, this thing's getting ready to crash and burn.
Yeah.
And it didn't. So it was amazing. So they're talking sometime in July 25th-ish, somewhere around there, is going to be IFT 5.
Wow, that's so fast.
It is. And it is well going to be worth watching because they're going to try to catch the booster.
Man.
So, which surprises me that they would do that because they only have one launch tower right now. They're building a second one, but they only have one right now. So, they are literally, they're betting, they're putting all their bets, all their money on this thing being able to land because if it's off, if it slides through, if it does whatever, it takes out that entire launch pad.
Yeah, so they're talking about catching it on the pad?
With the chopsticks.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems risky.
It is. It seems really risky.
Maybe maybe Elon is like, oh, well, these chopsticks are old anyway. I need to replace them, so might as well blow them up.
Yeah, but it's the only launch pad they have.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, OLM-2 is actually being built, but it's not even started to be stacked yet. So they've got the concrete poured, and they've got the foundation, but they haven't started building anything for the OLM or anything.
Yeah.
So that's risky trying to catch it.
Either
and they're not catching the ship; they're catching the booster.
The booster, yeah.
It's super heavy. So, so we'll see. I mean, I will be glued to that one too.
Oh yeah.
If I got to call in sick, I'll call in sick. I will have to watch that one.
Yeah.
Um,
So that one's slated for July 25th.
yeah, just sometime in July.
Okay.
So
I think
mid to
I
late
will be
July.
back. I should be back in Georgia by then. I
Are
think we're
you?
coming. We're flying out to
Oh,
California
that's right. That's right. 'Cause
mid-July, and I'm pretty sure we're coming back. We might be coming back July 23rd. I don't remember.
I don't
It's either
remember the
July
exact date.
23rd or it's a Tuesday though. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're going to be
Yeah.
doing that trail race out there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tahoe 50K or something.
Yeah, the Big Chief 50K.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's ready. Yay, it's ready.
Oh, good. Um, no, it's bedtime now for you guys.
Can we finish the story thing?
Okay, yes, you can finish that one, and then we need to go to bed.
Okay.
Will you shut the door? Thanks. Oh boy.
Cool. Well,
Yep.
let's see. What do we got here? Okay. We're okay on time. So speaking of the 50K, what do you got coming up the next few weeks,
Yeah,
months?
so the Barbarian Challenge was a surprise. I didn't think I'd be able to run that one because Allison's out of the country. My wife is out of the country,
Yeah.
and I had the kids with me. And then my wife's parents told me, "Well, we'll watch them for you, so you can run the race." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, that would be awesome." I wasn't really prepared for Barbarian, just because I haven't been able, with the busyness of the family, I haven't been able to put in enough climbing workouts.
Yeah.
So I knew that I would probably be slow, and I was. I think I finished in an hour and 29 minutes, but that 10 or 15 of those minutes was at meat hooks.
Oh yeah.
Right at the end.
Right at the end.
Yep, right at the end. So I probably did better than I have in years past, but because of that slowdown at meat hooks, it just killed my time. My grip was worthless once I made it to that obstacle.
Well, it was hot this
And
year too, right?
oh yeah, it was super hot. Like it was in the mid, I think it was like 86 degrees Fahrenheit at the starting line at 8 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it only got hotter as the day progressed. And there were 4 water crossings, and one of those was the swim, under the
Yeah.
waterfall.
Yeah.
So the swim was refreshing. The 3 other creek crossings that we had, it felt like the water was the same temperature as the air.
Wow.
It wasn't hot, but it also wasn't what I was hoping for.
Right. Not
'Cause
cool,
when-
refreshing, just
Not
tepid.
cool, refreshing. It was
Yeah.
tepid. Yeah, that's a good descriptor. So we were approaching the first creek crossing, and I was like, yes, finally I can cool off a little bit. I'd jump into the water, and I was like, wow, that is not so cold. Great. I still splashed it all over
Yeah.
me, but it really wasn't much better. So I was like, okay, it's just time to get through this race. It was so hot and so uncomfortable, and fortunately never felt like I was going to get sick, which was great. But for some reason, this past month, I've been when I'm doing my heat workouts, I've been getting not sick, but I've had to slow down so to prevent from getting sick.
Well, and it may be, we live in the South, but it may be that fact where, we have to acclimate every year.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things that it's like, well, it's hot, we're used to it because we live down here.
Yeah.
It gets cool during the, so we have to reacclimate, and it really hasn't been that hot. It's just like it was nice weather for probably 2-3 months,
It was.
and now all of a sudden, we've gone from preheat, to fucking bake everybody. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how it's gone. So, yeah, it's taken all of us a little bit to kind of acclimate, just because it's gone from okay to blasted hot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Like I'm used to going out and doing my like 3 p.m. runs like during the heat of the
Yeah,
day.
that is heat.
Um, and being very uncomfortable, but also being okay. But the last month, I would go out and do that. And one time I had to stop 2 miles short in my workout because I was like, wow, I'm going to throw up if I keep going. I need to
Oh wow.
stop. So I had to like walk back to my house. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. I need to take a cold shower, which is
Yeah.
lame.
I've got to the point like right now because I'm not racing. I used to drink 100 ounces of water a day,
Yeah.
and now I'm lucky if I get 40 in me.
Oh, shoot. That's
Yeah,
way low.
I know it's really low. So hopefully, now that I've got the shoulder worked on, and the side effects are gone. Hopefully, I can get back into it and I can start push myself and you know make myself drink more water. So
Yeah.
because I got to be ready for Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows what that's going to be
Yeah,
like? Like
I
it
mean
could
I
be
know
hot, it
it's at
could be cold.
well, and I know it's at night, but still, you can dehydrate at night too.
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
So we'll see.
Yep.
So and you got your Tahoe thing coming up.
Yep. That's next month. Let's see. That's on, I think that's actually, that is the 23rd, Sunday, the 23rd. And then we're flying back on the 25th.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and like I said, the date is just something that popped in my head. I honestly don't know exactly what the date is. So, and they
Yeah. And
probably
it could
come later.
change.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
FAA's gotta give them the okay. And they said as long as
Hmm.
they didn't change their flight parameters, then they didn't have to get a new license. Well,
Oh.
if they're going to try to catch the booster, that's a new flight parameter. So, it,
Oh.
it may it may make it slide one way or the other anyway.
Hmm.
So I've actually got a little bit coming up.
Yeah.
So not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, which is the 28th, 29th, somewhere around there. Um, I think Friday's the 28th. My at that time will be 17-year-old and I are traveling down to Tampa on Friday,
Oh.
and it is the Tampa Bay Screams horror convention that's going to be
Oh.
down there. And
Sweet.
so she's been wanting to go to one, and so I looked around. I pulled up all the horror cons and all that are coming up, and
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Springs Screams is that weekend. And I thought, perfect. It's small. We'll go down there. We have a weekend pass, so we're going to be there Friday and then go to there Saturday.
Awesome.
And so a lot of the folks that are there, I don't really know.
Hmm.
They're in some B movies and things like that, but it's just our first convention.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. And then Saturday, when we're done, we're actually going to go over to Orlando. And my nephew lives in Orlando. And so we're going to crash with him
Sweet.
and his folks on Saturday night. And then Sunday, the group of us, which is him and all his folks that were like at his wedding and all that stuff,
Yeah.
we are headed to Epcot and we're going to drink around the world on Sunday.
Oh,
I've been
that's
wanting to do this for a
awesome.
while.
I
And
didn't know they had such a thing.
so at Epcot, the front of it is Spaceship Earth and Mission to Mars and the aquarium and all that stuff. Well,
Yeah.
the back half of Epcot are different countries. And
Huh.
so there's Mexico, there's Japan, there's Germany, there's England, there's the USA, there's Italy, and there's some others. I don't remember. France, and
Uh-huh.
I don't remember the rest of them. But each one of them have uh, like stuff that they sell They've got drinks, they got food, they got all that kind of stuff. And she looked like a ghost
Yeah,
because
yeah.
just a little bit of her face popped up, and she looked like a ghost behind it. But so they,
That's appropriate.
yeah, exactly. So they have food and they have drink from the country that they sell them these things. So what
Nice.
we're going to do is we're going to go to each country and we're going to get a country drink. You know, whether it be a margarita from Mexico or, you know, whatever from each country, and we're going to go to each country and drink from each country and drink around the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
What a great idea.
yeah, yeah.
At least, too bad you don't have a subway to navigate to get back to a flat when you're done.
Actually, so Anns will be with us, so we have a
Oh,
DD.
so you have a designated driver.
We have a DD.
Oh, yeah.
But
So you don't need to be able to navigate the subways of England
exactly.
to get back to your flat.
So, yeah, which I could do. I could do that. I've already proved I could do that. But I didn't have a 60-year-old liver back then either. So
Ooh, yeah.
I only had a 50-year-old liver. So this is I don't know how far I'll make it, but so when he got married, these same folks were there, and all weekend, really, that's all we did was sit around. We played pool, and we drank,
Man, that's awesome.
and we drank a lot.
Oh, man.
And so I didn't know any of these folks until that weekend. And so, you know, sitting around the bar, just doing shots and meeting all these folks. I mean, they were awesome.
Yeah.
We had such a good time. So, you know, I told Logan I wanted to drink around the world. I said, you got to bring folks from your wedding. I said, 'cause those folks were so much fun. And he's like, all right, I'll get them. So when I called him a couple of weeks ago and said, hey, what about this weekend? He got a hold of me. He said, let's do it. So,
Oh, dude.
yeah.
That's perfect.
So we're gonna have a good time.
Yes.
And then for the horror con, I actually for Ansley's graduation. Originally we were supposed to go to England this year, but things didn't work out, and so we were trying to think up things to kind of make it up to her. And her favorite band, Ice Nine Kills, actually runs their own con in September called Silver Scream Con.
Oh, yeah, because they're a horror movie themed band.
Right. Yeah, a lot
So
of their
do they do
songs
a
are-
horror? Do they do a horror movie like con,
Yes.
or is it like okay?
So
Interesting.
it's called the Silver Scream Con, and it's up in their hometown. Or I don't know if it's their hometown, but they're from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And so this con is up in Worcester, Worcester. I don't know. It's something right outside of Boston,
Okay.
Massachusetts, and it's a 3-day con, and then on Saturday night they actually do a concert. Ice Nine Kills do a
Nice.
concert. So I ended up getting me and her passes for that con all weekend. We got flights up to Massachusetts, and so she gets to meet. She's already met Spencer before because we went and saw him in concert somewhere, and I got her the VIP so she could meet him.
Very
But,
nice.
At this one, I do know some of the people that are going to be there, of the celebrities. So, to my surprise, when they started releasing the celebrity, Art the Clown is going to be there.
Oh man.
And so
From Terrifier.
Yes. So I actually get to meet Art the Clown. Damien Leone is going to be there. Laura
man.
Laverne is going to be there, who played Sienna in Terrifier 2. And I forgot the guy's name. Matthew Fleming, I think, played Jonathan in Terrifier 2. So those four for sure are going to be there.
Sweet.
Kind of hoping they get the little pale girl, but I don't know if she'll be there or not. But they just announced yesterday that PJ Souls, and I forgot the guy's name. Michael Graham, I think, and Nick Castle, who the three of them are from the original 1978. Hang on, the original 1978 Halloween.
Oh man.
So have you seen that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so PJ Souls and this Michael, I think his name's Michael Graham. They're the two that actually get it on and get killed.
Oh man.
He's the one that gets picked up and shoved into the wall and he's stuck up on the wall.
Oh, yes.
And then she's the one that actually flashes her boobs and says, "You see anything you like?" Everybody remembers that. So
Yeah.
that's PJ Souls. So those two. But Nick Castle is the actual Michael Myers.
Oh man.
He's listed as the Shape. If you read the credits as they roll by, it doesn't say
Yeah.
Michael Myers. It just says the Shape. And Nick
Huh.
Castle was the guy that actually was the first one. So those three are
Man.
going to be at that con also.
Man, yeah. Michael Myers could be like the James Bond of horror movies.
He's
It's
He's
like,
one-
oh, I want to be the guy that I want to be the next guy to play Michael Myers, but no one ever sees your face.
right, exactly. But that would be the best. I mean, for Halloween every year, since I've gotten the full thing, for about a week leading up to Halloween, I have a full Michael Myers get up.
Yes.
And I will go stand in my front yard and walk around and, I'll stand in my graveyard and I'll stare at people as they ride by. And,
Yeah.
I showed you my ring camera where I'm coming in from walking around the I don't walk around too far around the neighborhood. Just I
Yeah.
kind of stay in my own yard because I don't feel like getting shot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Southerners got guns. I don't want to get shot. So.
Yeah, I don't want to play around with that.
No. But I love doing my Michael Myers thing every year. So
Oh yeah. And it's such an iconic costume as well.
yeah,
Like
yeah, it's
Michael
cheap.
Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy.
It's like the top three horror movie iconic costumes.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I want to do Freddy one year, but it's just expensive. It's a expensive costume.
Oh man, I bet.
The glove, if you get a decent glove, is a couple of $100.
Ouch.
I have a mask of Freddy that
Mm-hmm.
it fits, it looks good, but like
Yeah.
it doesn't stick to your face, so you can't move your mouth or anything. But it looks good. But that was only $100 or so. Whereas
Wow.
the ones that actually fit your face and they're $600-700 a piece.
Ouch.
Yeah. So you go and you look at a $700 mask and you look at a $250 glove, and then you're looking over $1,000 to do Freddy, to do it right.
Wow.
So that's why I haven't done Freddy.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to do Michael.
Yeah.
A $16 pair of Dickies and a $25 mask from Spirit Halloween.
Yep.
You're
You're
good.
good.
Good to go.
Yeah.
But I've already sent out my first hint of what I'm going to be for Halloween.
Oh man.
So you have to look.
Hey, was this hint sent around at work?
No, it was actually sent in the Jabberjaw
Oh,
message thing.
okay. That's why I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So you have to see it.
Yeah.
It's not much of a hint, but
So it's very obscure.
It's stuff I actually use because I've already started putting it together. So it's stuff I've
man.
used to help put it together already, but it's not much of a hint. It's like what I put on there. If you know, you know. If you don't, you won't. So it's just that simple.
Now I need to look.
Yeah.
I need to look at this.
You will. And I mean,
Yeah.
we watch some of the same movies, so
Mhm.
it is a movie character ish.
Is it art?
thing. So Well, I mean, even if you guessed it, I wouldn't tell you.
Yeah, right.
Right. 'Cause
Art would be pretty awesome.
It would be. That's actually a really good idea. But I've already
Not
got
too
this.
hard.
I've already got this year already planned. So
Yeah.
But art.
You can do art next year after you meet him in real life.
That's true. I would definitely. That would definitely be a good one. So
Yeah. And you wouldn't have to talk.
That's true.
You could go to work like that, and you would be able to
Wouldn't have
talk to
to
anybody.
talk.
That would be so awesome.
That would actually be a classic idea. So good idea. Note for next year. So, but yeah, this year will be fun. I don't normally start this early, but the idea hit me.
Yeah.
And I actually had already changed because I had one idea and then changed it over to another. So.
Okay. Well, I will check that.
Yeah.
Chat channel.
Yep. Well, and we are actually getting ready to come up on a timeout again, so it's probably be a good time to cut this one off.
Yeah. Man,
So-
it's surprising that 42 minutes is coming by so quickly.
It does. It comes by quick. So
Yeah.
so when I stop recording, just stay on. But
Okay.
any last words or whatever?
Nope. Not really. So I guess this episode was kind of an intro.
Yeah.
My intro and other stuff. It's just I'm really interested. It's funny watching the way our racing has changed over the years from casual to serious to it's our life to now it's kind of still serious but not casual anymore.
Right.
But a lot less. Like we're running maybe 10, 12, 15 races this year.
Yeah, if that.
If that. And we're coming from 30 and 20 plus years down to a 15 year.
Yep.
To the old swan song.
True,
So
but
it's very-
we're also looking at endurance events too, and not just event after event after event. So
Yep. Yeah, our effort for these events will be a lot higher
Yep.
than it's a different effort than with More Heart Than Scars because that's still a freaking workout.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But this is different because we're pushing our hearts as
Very
well as our
much.
bodies.
Very
Yeah,
much
so it's an interesting change. Taking it all in stride. Maybe I'm getting old.
Oh, believe me, I can relate there. Because I will literally be 60 in August. So, yep.
Man.
Yep. All right. Well, let me stop recording real quick, and then we got a couple of minutes just to sign off. So, all right. So, peace.
Sweet. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the OEN podcast. We hope you enjoyed your time with us. If you have any discussion ideas, feel free to drop us a line. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Spotify at OEN Podcast. Have a great day, and we'll talk at you in the next one.